I'm floating on a sailboat on the Nile River in Egypt. Come spend the day with me.
So I'm in Egypt hosting a tour for members of my subscription community. And trip hosting is a pretty common income stream for travel creators, including myself. But I will brag a bit and say that I work to make my trips one-of-a-kind experiences. For example, I have a background in Middle East studies and Arabic and have lived, traveled, and worked in the Middle East and North Africa before. So I host trips in the region as I feel like I have something to add in addition to just trying to be an all-around good host. I can play cultural translator. I can help folks learn a few words. And I make sure that my group trips include special itinerary items that I know are going to be amazing based on my previous experiences in the region. And that's how we ended up in Egypt on this Dahabiya.
Mustafa is the boat manager. Both of us are going to be working to make such unforgettable experience a Dahabiya on the Nile River.
Now, Dahabiyas are shallow-bottom sailboats, and until the late 1800s, they were the standard for tourist travel on the Nile River. I actually took my mom to Egypt once and played tour guide for her, and we traveled on a modern Dahabiya similar to the one I'm on for this trip, which was essentially a replica of an old luxury Dahabiya. And she loved it. The experience was so special, and so I knew I wanted to duplicate it for this trip that I was hosting in Egypt. So here we are. Our group has the boat to ourselves for a private, multi-day experience where we can connect and relax and really enjoy all the amenities. The cabins are spacious and there are big windows where you can sit and read and look out over the Nile. The deck is perfect for lounging. There's a hot tub, there's kayaks. It's really idyllic. And I'll put the info for this company and the other Dahabiya tour operator that I've used and liked in the past below in the caption. So let me take you through just one of the multiple incredible days that we had exploring on our Dahabiya. So after a quick breakfast in the morning, we actually got off the boat and headed to Daraw, a city that's home to one of the largest camel markets in Egypt. And this is one of the benefits of doing a Nile cruise like this, that we get to make multiple stops along the Nile and see things we wouldn't have otherwise. And our guide Diaa was with us every step of the way to make sure we didn't miss any gems.
Good morning. My name is Diaa, D-I-A-A, that's my name, which means the light. I am a tour guide, English-speaking tour guide.
Also, Diaa is available for tours throughout Egypt, and he was wonderful, so I'll include his information below as well. So when we got off the boat, Diaa guided us onto trucks and then to the camel market, where camels mostly imported from Sudan were up for sale. We learned that ages 12 through 20 are the ideal working ages for camels, for example. We learned about some local camel traditions, and we got to see a bit of how sales function in that market. Then we headed back to the trucks to visit the local market in Daraw, which was a nice change from the hyper-touristy and often very crowded markets we visited in some of the bigger cities in Egypt. We stopped at a bakery and watched the staff make fresh eish beledi, a staple flatbread eaten in Egypt, and we got to try it while it was super fresh and warm. And we also tried eish shemsi, a fluffy bread that's leavened in the sun. We had falafel from a local vendor with fries and fried eggplant, and it was just so good.
It's very good falafel.
And then we meandered some more and we made a stop for Arabic coffee, which is typically a finely ground coffee, often with the addition of cardamom, boiled but not filtered. I love mine with a little sugar.
We really are living the dream.
We are. This isn't real life.
And then it was on to our next stop.
Hello. We're going to the Temple of Kom Ombo.
Built during the Ptolemaic dynasty, the temple has weathered destruction caused by the Nile, earthquakes, and builders taking some of the stones and using them for other projects, as well as defacement by Copts who later used the structure as a church. And this was really cool. The temple still has engravings visible that are thought to be one of the first recordings of surgical procedures, carved when Egypt was a leader in the world in medical sciences. We also stopped into the Crocodile Museum next to the temple. Very fitting, as Kom Ombo is dedicated to two gods, one of which is Sobek, the crocodile god. Ancient Egyptians prayed to Sobek for protection, strength, and fertility, and also viewed him as a creator god. I'll say that for me, the museum was a little bit morbid, as there are multiple mummified crocodiles inside, but it was cool to see. And then we headed back to the boat where a nice welcome drink awaited us, and we had some time to chill before our lunch. Our meals on the boat were all buffet style and generally very good, and we really looked forward to meal times. And then after lunch, we were off again. We made a quick stop at Gabal AlSilsila, a sandstone quarry and the site of a small temple that's more than 3,500 years old. It was really beautiful, and at the quarry, we could see where huge blocks of stone were cut in the past, and then they would be transported on the Nile for use. And then after that, it was time for my favorite stop of the day. They pulled the Dahabiya up to an area where folks could get off and swim or kayak and just kind of enjoy being on the Nile. And then we had afternoon tea on the boat. Our group was always ready for tea time, partly because of the cakes that the chef served, and it was really one of those simple moments that was so special.
Thank you.
And then for the rest of the evening, we had downtime to hang out, to watch the beautiful sunset, and then the crew barbecued for us on a little island. We had to applaud the chef and the crew who had been taking such good care of us.
I love it. Thank you.
And then they surprised us with a live band and a dance party. And let me tell you, the crew was getting it. They really brought the energy and encouraged all of us to let loose a bit, and that's how we ended our day on the Nile. We had a few days like this on our itinerary, and I was so glad I got to share it with the group to see how special it really is and see a different side of Egypt. Thank you so much for watching, and shout out to my little nephews who I've heard through my mom love these videos and watch them all the way through. One day I really hope I get to take my nephews with me on some of these adventures. And be sure to subscribe for more, and I'll also leave more information about my free email newsletter in the caption below. That email list is the best way to learn more about my work, including the trips that I host and my subscription community.